Hi, I'm Tiffany with LATVP Network and the Ladybug Festival, here with Mehuman joining us from Maine. Welcome, Mehuman.
Hi, Tiffany. Thanks for having me. This is going to be great.
This is so much fun. So, you are in Maine right now, but you are traveling a half of the year between Maine and Nashville?
Yes, it's a recent occurrence now that we're living between Nashville and Maine, Portland, outside of Portland, and I'm here for a couple of days doing some shows with some friends, and um, and then I go back to Nashville for a couple weeks, and I head off to Missouri and then Delaware for the Ladybug Festival, which I'm super excited about.
We are so excited that you're coming here and traveling so far for this wonderful music festival that celebrates women. Ladybug is the largest women's music festival. How did you find out about Ladybug?
Yes, so my nephew and niece-in-law live in Bear, Delaware, and they attended last year. And they're like, "Auntie, you've got to do this." It was so much fun. They had a blast, and it was like a date night for them, and they just had a good time. So he sent me the link, and I applied, and I was fortunate enough to be able to join 39 other female led bands to for the festival.
It's exciting that there are so many women coming together to celebrate women empowerment and femininity and just all things women, just celebrating all of this amazing talent. There's so many talented artists that are performing. You are among great talent in this event. And this is
Yeah.
my first Ladybug event too. I know it's your first Ladybug. This is my
Oh,
first
good.
Ladybug too. But looking at that lineup, and um, there's a playlist that you can listen to on Spotify right now, and just listening to all of these artists on Spotify, and it's so diverse. The diversity in the styles and the genre, and just women. It's incredible. I'm so excited for this event.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I was reposting the playlist this morning. I was doing the same. I was listening to all the different bands. This is
Yeah.
going to be so much fun. And
I've been binging it, and particularly I've been binging your music, and I also just interviewed Alyssa Garcia, and I binged hers as well, and you guys are so talented. We are so
thank you.
lucky to have you guys performing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, it's definitely a blessing to be involved. I think we were chatting a little bit earlier, and there's so much talent out there. So many people who've been around for a long time, and there's emerging artists,
Yes.
and the bar is high. And so, whenever you get a chance to share with your music in this kind of atmosphere, it's always a good time. So,
It's challenging to be a woman in this industry. It's challenging to, the girl that I just interviewed, she's also an engineer. She's a music engineer. So in that field, she's in the minority as a woman also. What do you find are the biggest challenges as a woman in the music industry?
yeah, sure. I think the biggest challenge I've encountered, and we spoke a little bit about this, is making sure that I am very present to defining myself. I have to stay really on top of that and not kind of like buying into how other people define me, and revisiting my narrative about why I do music and the impact that I hope to have. And as long as I kind of stay in my lane, it's much easier to navigate, everyone else's agendas. So I think that's the biggest thing for me in industry wise. I do look at it as it's my work, you know.
Right.
I feel really fortunate that it's the kind of work I get to do. So I was talking to a different artist, an artist who works in a different medium, not music. She's a fine artist, and she's just said, you have to choose beauty. You have to choose to create beauty, choose to create joy, and just stand your ground in it, no matter what's going on, and stay focused on your why. And you can navigate anything that way.
You also you do a lot of writing. Do
Yeah.
you prefer the writing to the performing? Or is that sort of just a balance? It's all encompassing for you. You don't really separate the two.
Oh, that's a very good question. So I do both. I think I prefer if I had to pick, and writing is something I can do for the rest of my life. Performing, I think, has it has a expiration date in some ways because there's other things I want to do, and also it's a rigorous type of sport, traveling around and playing all the
Sure,
time. And
sure.
I can always write. I write every single day. So, and writing also is how I feel most connected to other people when I'm collaborating and eavesdropping on people and
Right?
harming little tidbits that they say or and that sort of thing. So, but I love performing only because it's a time to actually see if there was clarity in my thoughts and clarity in what my message.
Right.
The two are kind of co-joined together, but one if I had to do one and not the other, it would probably be writing.
You also you do so many different things. You are sort of an activist, a volunteer, and you are a farmer.
Yeah, I do a lot in the real estate space, and I do a lot in the tech
Okay.
space.
Okay.
And, I've been very fortunate to pursue my interests, and, with during the big shutdown, I reconnected to gardening in a really meaningful way. And that led me to start looking at intentional communities, and then it led me to purchasing a farm. So a little micro farm in Tennessee um, sort of beginning growing that, no pun intended, growing that project. So, and we're excited
What
about
do you
it.
grow? What do you grow on your farm? And do you get down and dirty on the land? Do you actually get out there and farm?
Actually, the only kind of dirt I actually do like is the dirt from gardening and farming. We're getting everything ready right now, but we're going to be growing gourds and spices. And we're growing the type of gourds that you can make instruments out of, and bowls,
Oh, that's so cool.
and spoons. They're kind of like utility gourds. There's a bunch of different types. And
Right?
we're going to be inviting people to come and stay with us and learn how to make things like banjos and shakeries and shakers and bowls and drinking spoons and
So will that
just
be kind of like an Airbnb experience? Is that sort of the business model that you're looking at?
it's in the agritourism. It's agritourism, and it will have it as you can rent the space as well. And we're having house concerts there too. So
Oh
we're
my goodness.
trying to
Well, I
kind
know
of
where I'm going when I go to Tennessee.
please do.
Yeah.
We have a really interesting menu we've already been working on because I'm an amateur chef.
Oh
And
wow. Yeah, well, see,
uh,
there's another one, and I did remember what it was that came to mind. Your podcast.
oh, my podcast. Oh my
Your
goodness. I
podcast.
even forgot. Yeah,
Yeah.
I have a podcast. Wish I wrote it. Yes.
So tell
And
us a
that
little bit about the podcast because that's definitely that falls into the music category.
it really does. So everything I try to do it reflects back to music, the farming, the growing things, technology, everything.
Yeah, all intertwined. It's all in your
All
purpose.
intertwined. It all leads back to music. So Wish I Wrote It came about because of my need for community during COVID. And I also started thinking about all the people who write music that inspires me. And then a producer I work with a lot invited me to cover a full album for a boutique show that was happening in Portland. And I chose to do U2's Octone Baby. And when I had to explore that record, I was really taken by how much information and how it changed so much in my it just really made me explore different ways of coming at music.
Sure.
I've always listened to that record. It's 25th anniversary. It's
I
one of
would
my
love to hear
records.
you perform that.
It was so much fun. And we had to really take it and make it our own because
Right.
obviously I'm not Bono and I'm not the Edge and I'm not any Larry Mullins or any of the guys. So
You maybe perform that at Ladybug?
I think I'm gonna probably stick to my work because
Okay.
I think that's probably gonna be what I'm allowed to do, so licensing wise. But I might cover one of their songs if there's time. I love the song One. I think it's very timely. It's an important song. And it led me to start exploring other people's music in my circle and their songwriters and saying, hey, I want to cover your song. I wish that I wrote it. And
Right.
that led to the name. And I've been interviewing my colleagues for 2 seasons now about their intentions behind their songs, who inspires them. And it's been really fun. It's a real fun
Well,
event.
I kind of eavesdropped the other night. I wasn't able to comment, but I wanted to because the talent that you had on was very, very good. She was a young lady and she was really a talented young girl.
Yes, Eden Marie.
I really enjoyed your podcast. So I invite everybody else that's watching now to join in and watch your podcast because it was really well done.
Thank you. Find me. You can find me on all the, not all the platforms, but on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, blah, 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 blah. And it's just called Wish I Wrote It. And I'm probably the only Mehuman spelled Mehuman you'll probably find with the two things together.
Right.
So we're every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time. And it's been a real fun thing to do. So I'd love to for folks to check us out and visit. And that young lady was Eden Marie, who I'm extremely
Great.
proud of. I've known her for a long time. And she's very, very talented.
Well, I like that you got deep in your podcast. It wasn't just talking to the artist and on the surface stuff. You really went deep with her. And one of the things that you mentioned was you have this t-shirt that you like that's called famous, that says famous enough.
Yeah.
Tell us
Yeah.
a little bit about that because I think that's a
So,
lot about your personality.
I'm so glad you mentioned that. So I was at a leadership conference um, in Carolina a few weeks ago, and it was really about discussing one's identity from a faith perspective. And I happen to be a Christian, and so I was thinking about how fame and fortune and all those things, how they have landed in my life and how they informed my choices. And at a different time in my career, I had a different agenda than what I was pursuing. And now it's taken me a while to circle back that, you know what, I get to do exactly what I want to do. And I'd like to do it at a larger scale. But if I don't get to, I'm very, very happy about where I'm at, my life is at. So famous enough is kind of a reflection of that. I'm, I mean, I do music,
Right. Right.
I, I, I'm the, that's even less than the 1%. Not, so I just feel very, very privileged and very, very blessed to be able to do music. So I, I can't think of anything else I would rather do. So I feel like I'm famous enough already.
And it's not about the fame, it's not about the material aspects of things anymore. You're at a point in your life where you're happy with where you are and those things aren't important to you and other things are important in your life.
yeah, I mean, I think that
Your
I haven't.
priorities are different than they were at a different age.
Yeah, I think in a different lifetime too, because I think that I thought that fame and difference, the things that come with it were necessary for me to be able to do some of the things that I wanted to do. And surprise, surprise, you just do it. You figure
Right.
out how to do it. And that adage or cliche of love what you do and the money will come. It actually has been really true for me. So I think the only reason for me that I even wanted to be famous at one point in my life was so that I could do the things I'm doing now already, you know? So
You also mentioned that birds don't walk around saying, I wish I have different feathers. I
yeah.
thought that was really sort of, it's just something that you don't think about, but it's true.
Yeah, it really is true. And because
Like,
of you, I should give you a co-write. Because of you, I started really exploring that last night and thinking about, I think I'm coming up with a song, and I'm so glad that you brought that to my attention, because I say stuff sometimes and I don't hear myself saying it. And when it resonates with someone, that's a really good sign that it needs to be revisited. So
right.
I've so that for me, what I was saying was that um I've had this big, huge journey of becoming comfortable with myself. I've gone through, for example, on that show that we talked about, with that episode of Wish I Wrote It, we were talking about body dysmorphia, eating disorders, this whole concept of not being enough. And that has been
And
a really
for
long journey for me.
especially, that is a huge challenge. That is something that is very relevant in today's society for women all over the world.
It is. It's hard to see ourselves as others see us,
Mhm.
and others see us with oftentimes with more compassion than we
You
see
are
our,
our own worst critic.
and so I've been intentionally practicing to be as compassionate with myself as I try to be with others. And even with the way that I speak to myself and talk to myself, and the way that I even encourage myself from a positive place instead of saying a not enough place.
Right,
So
right.
yeah, so the whole wishing I had different feathers for a very long time, especially when I did some modeling as a teen, and I did a lot of different things that can be
Is there anything that
problematic.
you haven't done?
When I reflect, I've really tried to not have too many regrets and just try stuff.
Right,
I've my personality is like that, and my parents who are no longer with us were always very adventuresome, and they're like, well, you just try it. If it doesn't work out, then you at least you know.
right.
So
Keep you going in a different
siblings,
direction.
yeah, all of my siblings are the same. I have 8 siblings, and they're all pretty adventuresome. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Are they as musically gifted as you are?
Actually, there's a few of them that are more so, um, that are extremely talented and have done very well on their own in their careers in theater and other creative uh, avenues. And so I have had really good teachers from the beginning in my own family. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
So what are you going to play for us today?
Um, I thought I'd play. I think I'll play a song. I was going to play something different, but I think I'm going to play a song, a new song that's going to be on my next record.
Okay,
That
we're getting a sneak peek, we're getting a preview that
yeah,
this is kind of wow, that's really cool.
yeah. I was going to play. If I only can play one song, I think this is the song I'd like to play for you. Can you hear that?
Yes.
Ladybird with your heart of gold. I heard you wanna give up, heard you're gonna lay down your soul. Little one in their shade. Don't be afraid, don't let them shake your faith. I fly my way. Come be free, come be healed, come be safe. It don't matter what they think or what they say. Don't you know you've been saved by grace? Yeah. 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 Well, I'm falling down when I'm climbing up. Stored all my treasures with mercy and love, but all around me there's still heartbreak and pain. When you're coming, Lord, when you're coming this way again, well, I come to me now. Mend my heart, free my mind, heal my doubt. Yeah, well, shine your light, shine it bright. Make all the wrongs of the world right. Make all the wrongs of the world right. Oh, heaven is calling our names. Don't you want real love? Don't you want to see change? Heaven has opened the door. I come and child drink and thirst no more. I come and child drink and thirst no more. Yeah, yeah. Ladybird with your heart of gold. Don't give up. Don't let your love run cold. Little one in the sun, run run your race until the race is won. Well, fly my way. Come be free, come be healed, come be saved. It don't matter what they think or what they say. Don't you know you've been saved by grace? Don't you know that you've been saved by grace? Don't you know you've been saved by grace? Yeah, 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 yeah. Well, heaven is calling my name. I want real love. I want to see change.
Beautiful.
Thank you. That's
Thank
a new
you so
song coming from.
much.
Thank you. Yeah, that's a new song for all the ladies that I've in my life, my sisters, my mom, all the Ladybirds.
All the Ladybird, and that brings us again to Ladybug Festival.
Yes, and I didn't, when I wrote that song, I didn't realize that a ladybird is actually a ladybug.
Right,
I had no
right.
idea, so it's like a perfect song
That's
for it.
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we should probably wrap up. So I just want to thank you for taking the time to speak with me today. And everybody can come out and see you at Ladybug Festival on Friday, May 20th. You are
Yes,
in great company with 39 other female-led artists.
I'll be at Milk and Honey, I believe, at 6:50 to 7:30, right? Milk and Honey, so
Also,
come
that
visit
they
me.
finalized the playlist. I think it may be tentative.
Oh, great. So
Yeah.
we'll just come on by. I'll be there
Yes.
waiting or playing. So
Thank you
looking
so
forward to seeing
much.
people.
Thank you so much for coming, for taking the time today and coming all this way to perform for us at Ladybug Festival.
My delight. I'm really looking forward to it. And lovely to meet you, Tiffany. I'll see you there.
Oh, see you there.
My man's in the grave and I'm in jail.